I'm one of the lucky ones. I made a little bit of money. I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3. Winner takes all. I'm 5 years out the ring. I'm a kickboxer.
Joe Rogan just revealed why Jake Paul, the so-called boxing prodigy, turned down Andrew Tate's big fight offer. And get this, he didn't just reject it. He completely tossed aside the $3 million. So what's going on? Is Jake scared of losing, or does he only box when the conditions are perfectly in his favor? It looks like the only thing that's planned here is his so-called career.
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Google it if you want to know more. Any day, any time.
But don't worry, I'm going to explain all the reasons behind Jake's rejection, including the savage callouts from Andrew Tate and how Joe Rogan exposed Jake's play it safe strategy. Get ready, because this story is full of drama, ego, and some funny truths you definitely won't want to miss as a boxer.
As a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know?
Work. Come on, keep going.
Come on, fight.
Make it. Hey. 50 seconds. Come on, 20 seconds to work, Steve. Let's go. Come on, work. Work. 10 seconds. Work.
Jake Paul is the guy who claims he'll take on any challenger, but now he backs out the moment a real test comes his way. And who better to call him out on it than...
Yeah, he'll never do that, though. He knows. He knows way.
One, he's under contract. And
he's not his own boss.
And two, he won't do it. He knows better. He might
and
say,
it's funny to say, like, yo, Conor McGregor is scared of Jake Paul and will never box.
When Andrew Tate, former kickboxing champion and professional provocateur, called out Jake Paul, the internet went wild. Tate wasn't joking. He directly challenged Jake to a fight with a $3 million bet and an anytime, anywhere ultimatum. But instead of putting on his gloves and stepping into the ring, Jake hesitated. And not the kind of hesitation that builds suspense. It was the awkward kind that makes you wonder if he's urgently texting his PR team for an excuse. He got left hanging.
Got left with somebody like me. He'd mentioned me before, and there'll be people out there saying, oh, Carl Froch's talking about himself. He's after a payday. Listen, I'm not after a payday. I'm doing all right. There's no problems with my finance.
And then came Jake's brilliant move, fighting Mike Tyson. Yes, the 57-year-old retired legend who hasn't been in his prime since VHS tapes were a thing. Jake, in his infinite wisdom, decided that boxing Tyson would be a better option than facing someone like Andrew Tate, who is not only in fighting shape, but also unpredictably dangerous. It was a calculated decision, sure, but it screamed one thing louder than anything else: fear. I would never say troll, trolling anybody as you want to, but Tyson can't script a fight with scripted, but he can't script a fight with Andrew Tate.
So when you see some of these crossover fights, obviously I know that you and Jake Paul have had your disagreements. Do you think that Jake's gotten better as a boxer?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And listen, what Jake Paul has accomplished is he's fighting old guys.
Yes.
He's fighting, all he fights are old guys and whatever. But listen, say what you want, he wins. And he makes money. So he's doing his thing, you know?
Let's not pretend this is the first time Jake Paul has avoided a fight he couldn't control. His entire boxing career has been a masterclass in cherry-picking opponents. Former basketball players, retired MMA fighters who've never boxed a day in their lives. Check. And now Tyson, retired heavyweight with enough fame to sell tickets, but not enough speed to be a real threat. It's a pattern so obvious that even Jake's most loyal fans are starting to notice, but this is just another peek into Jake's personality, I guess. Man, just put on his contacts and it's like... Joe Rogan didn't hesitate to call Jake out on his podcast, pointing out that Jake's strategy is all about avoiding anyone who might actually beat him. He's fighting old, undersized guys. Rogan summed up what everyone else was already thinking. Jake Paul doesn't want to fight Andrew Tate. because Tate is younger, faster, and far more unpredictable than any opponent Jake has faced. Rogan even went a step further, saying that Jake's reluctance to face Tate shows he's more focused on preserving his undefeated record than proving himself as a legitimate fighter.
Two brothers, one cage. Jake Logan, you Tristan. Who comes out alive?
You know what? I'm trying so hard to not start internet beats. I'm really trying not to.
You could say Jake and Logan, man.
Bro,
Don't worry about it.
No, I can't lie. Bro, I'm going through life. I'm trying to live peaceful now. I've got Fed agents in my house. Matrix is after me. I'm just trying to live peaceful. But of course, I have absolute faith in myself and my brother, and I know what we've been through, and I know the kind of men we are.
Now, let's talk about Andrew Tate for a second. This isn't some washed-up internet personality looking for a quick payday. Tate is a former kickboxing world champion with a chip on his shoulder and a point to prove. He didn't just challenge Jake Paul, he practically dared him to fight. His $3 million bet wasn't just a publicity stunt, it was a statement. Tate knew Jake wouldn't take the fight, and he wanted to make that fact as public as possible. But Tate didn't stop at the initial call out. When Jake Paul ghosted him, he doubled down, calling Jake out again and highlighting the painfully obvious truth. Jake's entire career is built on fighting opponents he can control. There's a difference between training and being a fighter, Tate said, delivering one of the most savage truths about Jake's entire existence. Prime fighters destroy hobbyists.
Why don't you lose to an old man who's retired? I live in the real fucking world, Jake. There's a whole bunch of fighters out here who live in the real fucking world. Men who are dangerous and dedicated their lives to this sport and don't have a fucking fraction of the money you have because you managed to become a fucking clown.
Jake's silence after Tate's second challenge was deafening. For someone who never stops hyping his fights, Jake suddenly had nothing to say. His fans, who were excited about the possibility of a Paul Tate showdown, were left confused. And if this feels like Jake just got hit with a verbal knockout, then slip the jab and smash that subscribe button, because this saga is delivering more hits than Jake ever will in a real fight.
Go fight! Hey, fight! Hey, go fight! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Work! Hey, work! Hey, work! Hey, keep going. Come on, work. Go, work. Come on, Marcus, keep going. Work! Work! Come on, fight! Make it! Come on, 20 seconds to walk, Steve. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
But let's break it down. Jake Paul chose to fight Mike Tyson instead of Andrew Tate because Tyson is safer. Yes, Tyson is a boxing icon, but let's not forget he's 57 years old and long past his prime. Jake knew he could control the narrative in a Tyson fight. He knew he would sell pay-per-views because of Tyson's name, not because it would be a real challenge. We all know that fight was scripted, and most importantly,
the best boxer on the planet is Jake Paul. Why? I mean, who's doing it? I mean, if Mike Tyson says, let's do this, are you down? 100%.
I'm gonna make Mike my girlfriend.
Would you fight Mike Tyson? Again, no, because he's now old, and I would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of his prime self. That doesn't feel fair. Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match, so to beat him when he's past his prime is dishonorable, and I'd feel dirty for doing that. So there's no amount of money on the planet that could convince me to fight.
Now, contrast that with Andrew Tate, a fighter in his mid-30s, in peak physical condition, and with years of experience in combat sports. Tate is unpredictable, highly skilled, and completely uninterested in playing Jake's game. If Jake stepped into the ring with Tate, he wouldn't just risk losing, he'd risk being exposed as the hobbyist Tate has accused him of being.
I'm known as a fighter in a way that he never will be. I'm known as a fighter in the way that if you throw me in a cell with a murderer, a rapist, and 2 drug dealers, people look at me and go, oh, hey, respect. He would have left with a higher male body count than his fiancée. That's how he would have left.
Joe Rogan, once again, didn't hold back when talking about Jake's decision to fight Tyson instead of Tate. Jake Paul doesn't want to fight if he can't control it, Rogan said, cutting through Jake's facade like a hot knife through butter. And he's right. Jake Paul's entire career is about control. Controlling the opponents, controlling the narrative, and controlling the spectacle. Andrew Tate represents the one thing Jake can't control, a real challenge. What if Jake thought his fans wouldn't notice his dodge? He was sorely mistaken. Social media exploded with criticism, and the backlash was brutal. Fans called him a coward, a fraud, and worse. Even some of Jake's supporters admitted that his decision to avoid Andrew Tate while fighting Mike Tyson was a bad look. The internet doesn't forget. And this move might just haunt Jake for the rest of his career.